many of our favorites to watch. Oh, look, now they're being bashed. I guess that's what we should expect on the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast.
Good morning, Great Valley. Tuned into the BNP, also known as the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast, or BNP for short.
Wow.
BNP. A podcast.
We're not going to workshop that at all?
Podcast brave enough to examine ancient relics known as direct-to-VHS animated sequels, treating them with the same reverence as dinosaur fossils. Speaking of dinosaurs, we've got my brother, Jurassic Tim.
Okay.
And myself, Jurassic John, both born in the 80s, with two cute little nestlings from the early 2000s, my nephews, Chummy Sore Chance.
Wow, we didn't go Cretaceous Chance, we went Gummy Sore?
And Cuddle Sore Kylan.
Wow. This is bad.
If you have any feedback or input for us, feel free to send us an email at bulliedpod@gmail.com. You can also find our merch on Redbubble.
Hold on, I really quickly got to type up a feedback email.
What was that, Chummy Sore?
Nothing, whatever, who cares?
I'll have you know that Cretaceous doesn't have a ch sound.
And what's a chummy sore? I'm very curious.
I could have done Cretaceous for Kylan, but then you would have felt extra left out. So you're welcome. All right, you three, a bit of trivia for you. What do you think the following 8 movie franchises have in common? Here they are: Police Academy, Rocky, Star Trek, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, James Bond, and Godzilla.
I honestly don't know. My first assumption was, these are movies that have had 6 installments, but that is not the case. Then I thought maybe they're ones that have been rebooted, but ain't nobody touching Police Academy.
Well, you are onto something, Tim.
Are they all things that have had cartoons made out of them?
They are films that by 1998 already had 5 sequels.
Okay.
Any guesses on what animated movie had its 6th film in 1998?
Okay, hold on. You're telling me that James Bond only had 5 sequels by 1990? Baloney. That's not right.
No. By 1998, films that already had at least 5 sequels.
Okay, so you're saying these are movies that have had tons of sequels.
Correct. By
Okay.
1998, they had at least 5.
Okay, so what was your follow-up question?
Any guesses on what animated movie had its 6th film in 1998?
Oh.
Is it going to be Land Before Time 6?
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Whoa, he's
Who
in your
could've
brain.
I'm really good at trivia, you guys.
That's actually super ironic because the episode that we're covering today is Land Before Time 6.
You mean coincidental and not ironic?
Sure, whatever word you want to use. Land Before Time 6, The Secret of Saurus Rock. People must be thinking, a film franchise with that many sequels? Whoa. Land Before Time movies have got to be stellar, to which we would say, accurate.
When you started with "ack," I thought you were just going to say, actually, no.
So to this day, Land Before Time, the animated movies maintain the animated movie with the most sequels, with 14 movies total. Only winners break records, am I right?
No. There are records for the worst things.
You just wait. K-pop Demon Hunter is going to blow that record out of the water. We all know it.
Toy Story's making gains. We're up to 5 now or something.
Yeah, but they're coming out with them once every 5 years, so...
Hey, slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Chance didn't say we all had to be alive by the time it happened.
I was going to say, it's going to be 9 more movies, that's 40 more years before Toy Story catches up. Before we get Chance to explain today's movie, Tim, can you explain the premise of Land Before Time, as well as a brief summary of movies 2, 3, 4, and 5?
When you ask for a summary of Land Before Time, are you referring to the movie Land Before Time?
No. I said, can you give me a premise of The Land Before Time? Are people watching plants play soccer? Are they watching spiders drink lemonade? What are these movies? And a brief summaries of episodes 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Land Before Time is a series about spiders drinking lemonade.
That would be terrifying. The spider drink lemonade.
That would be terrifying?
Yes.
So apart from the spiders drinking lemonade, Land Before Time is a series of movies about dinosaurs, but not intelligent or interesting dinosaurs. It follows several hatchlings who become friends and go on adventures sometimes. When I say sometimes, we've watched 5 of these movies now, and they've maybe gone on 2 adventures in that amount of time.
And Tim, are you going to give us anything about what those movies were that we watched, 2 to 5?
They're about
None of them have
dinosaurs.
any relevancy on this movie. So
That's
I'm gonna
true.
say
That's
no.
true.
Okay. To add on to what Tim's saying, our main characters have been Littlefoot, the long neck, Sarah, the 3-horn, Ducky, duck-billed dinosaur.
She's a
Spike.
swimmer, actually.
Sorry, Ducky the swimmer, Spike the spike-tail, and Petrie the flyer. And on 2 occasions, we've had guest star Chomper join the movies, who's a baby Sharptooth.
We've also had a racist long neck.
Long neck or Triceratops?
The girl long neck who was racist against Sarah in number 4.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like she's coming back at some point, so we might as well acknowledge her existence.
We've watched all of those Land Before Time movies we mentioned on the Banut podcast.
Gross.
So feel free to go back and give a listen to any of those.
And in the comments on those, please write that you do not approve of John's naming of this podcast.
I asked Chance, who's never seen Land Before Time 6 before, to make a prediction about this movie before viewing it. The only hints he had were the title, The Secret of Saurus Rock, and the names of the 3 new characters, Doc, Dinah, and Dana. Chance, would you care to share what your prediction was?
Here's the problem, you guys. I was looking at this through the lens of what would a good movie be.
Your
And I
first
forgot we were in
mistake.
Land Before Time. So my prediction is that Saurus Rock would be the homeland of some sharp-tooths with intelligence, who would be Chomper's adoptive family. I say Saurus Rock because as in Tyrannosaurus. So we're already off to a bad start. I thought it would be like a situation where there'd be some inner conflict. Chomper's like a baby, and then they would come across these more their age other dinosaurs who are sharp-tooths. It was like, oh, well, they have to eat and they have to survive just like us, but they eat herbivores. And unfortunately, the ideological race war of dinosaurs is not what this movie is. It is, in fact, the Lone Ranger.
Do you mean the Lone Jesus?
What?
This movie is about dinosaur Jesus.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, we'll get into that in a moment, Tim. Before we find out about your I Know Jesus theories, Tim, do you feel like Chance was on the mark in any way, shape, or form?
He nailed it. I don't think we need to talk about this movie anymore.
Chance,
For weirdos, praise Beethoven. We'll see you next time, guys.
Peace out.
Make sure to hit the merch and email us what you want next time. Hit the poll. Vote for Speed Racer. I've been Chance. It's been great talking to you guys. See you later.
Oh, he left.
He
Okay.
actually left.
all right. Chance, can you tell our listeners what actually happens in The Secret of Saurus Rock?
The movie opens talking about how Dino-Christ fought back death and redeemed the land and then ascended back into Dino Heaven.
All
And then
right,
his
the
place of
actual...
monument was constructed of him, and afterwards the second coming of Dino-Christ occurred, and the unbelieving adults did not recognize his divinity. And then the children, recognizing that he is the one true Messiah, went to his monument before damaging it, which incurred a great karmic retribution from the Dino divinity.
Yes, this is correct.
Which resulted in plagues and hardship upon the Great Valley, before eventually culminating in the resurgence of the evil dinosaurs which Christ once fought back, before he then slayed these dinosaurs once again and restored order to the Great Valley.
John,
and that's the movie.
I want to be respectful of you as the host, but is this perspective new to you? Did you not realize that this is super religiously coded when you watched it?
I just thought it was a good country western flick.
Well, we're going to get into dino religion. That's what all of my notes are on.
Okay. Well, before this gets too blasphemous, Chance, what actually... Can you explain in a way that makes sense to our listeners?
So, in reality, this movie is about a dinosaur known as the Lone Dinosaur who saved the Great Valley many years ago, and supposedly a monument was erected to him. Now, in the modern era, a dinosaur with a scar over his eye who seems to use his tail like a whip and has an old cowboy accent comes to town. Littlefoot believes he's the lone dinosaur, but the rest of his friends do not. They go to the monument to see if he is truly the lone dinosaur. In doing so, however, they accidentally break it, which brings terrible bad luck upon the Great Valley. And then it is up to Littlefoot, his friends, and this lone dinosaur to save the Great Valley from this terrible luck that has befallen them.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, Chance.
Before you get into talking about this movie, John, I want to say the only nice things I'm going to say about it.
Let's get them out of the way.
Yeah, let's get the niceties out of the way. This is a movie.
Yes. Yes.
And that seems like a pretty obvious thing to say in a podcast where we go back and watch old movies. But I cannot stress to listeners enough that most of the Land Before Time sequels are not movies. Nothing happens. They push a rock around and then lie to their parents. And then...
That's every movie, yes. They
end.
always lie to their parents every time. And that still happens in this movie, mind you. But
I don't agree that this is a movie, you guys.
Things happen!
We've decided that this movie isn't for 3-year-olds, it's for 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's for no one. This is always into the mind of the younger generation.
That is my big quote from Kai while we were watching this. He literally said, and I quote, "This is a movie."
You really like quoting me about
So,
how I feel
Tim,
about movies.
what sets this one apart? Because in previous movies...
There's conflict in this movie, and I'm not just talking about the parents arguing about the kids.
Or the kids being lost.
Yeah, there's actually stakes. There is considerably more action in this movie than the other ones that we've watched. But
They've got world building. You can question, is this actually the lone dinosaur? Is the rock actually magical, and did it actually rise from the earth?
yeah, no one is claiming that this is a good movie. I'm just stating that it is a movie.
That's interesting, because I actually had the opposite experience, because this was the first Land Before Time movie that I remember walking away from as a kid and being like, oh, well, that wasn't as cool.
Oh,
And
I wonder if I'm getting too old for these.
2 tickets to Elmo, please.
No. It had nothing to do with my age.
Walked out of Land Before Time 6 into Elmo.
Yeah.
I felt like it had less action in the sense that previous movies, the kids went and got stranded in a place with really scary dinosaurs and high stakes. Whereas, yes, there were some T-Rexes, but it didn't seem like nearly as significant of a threat. It was just a lot more focus on this bad luck stuff and this lone dinosaur.
I will also admit, John, that you may be onto something, because in 2014, the New York Post ranked all of the Land Before Time movies, and this one ranked at number 11 out of 13, calling it boring and uninspired.
Was this list ranked by John?
Did you work for the New York Post in 2014?
I just
John?
think it's cool that the New York Post thought this is worth That's a non.
11. That's bad.
I do think that this movie is boring. I do think it's uninspired. I think those things are true. But
It's better than every other one that we've
compared to
watched.
the other stuff we've watched, this is not the bottom of the
I
barrel.
genuinely think that this is the best of the Land Before Time.
Oh my
movies we've
goodness.
watched.
We watched Land Before Time 2, and you guys were like, it doesn't get any better than this. We watched 5, you're like, it got better. And now we watched 6, and you're like, it's the best? Whoa, you guys.
We're dumpster diving, John. This one's not covered in garbage. We're still gonna tear into this movie,
Yeah,
John. I
every
hope
compliment comes with a downfall. For instance, this is the least annoying that our main cast has been in
Yes.
any of these movies. Now, the way they found to make them less annoying was to introduce more annoying characters to draw the focus to. But this is the least I've hated Petrie in any of the movies we've watched.
you know that. Yep.
So tell us about these new annoying characters.
Though to be fair, Sarah actually is pretty terrible in this too. She loses the twins and then waits a day and a half to tell anybody.
Chance, tell us about the twins. Who are the twins?
Dana and Dinah.
The dinosaurs. We were joking about it. It'd be like
Calling two people He-Man and Hyman.
the humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the twins. They're Sarah's niece and nephew. And the problem is that they are so dumb and bad and terrible. Not a single scene with them is good. In fact, they drive most of the plot by being the
Backwards?
worst.
They drive most of the plot backwards, yes. They cause all of the problems.
There's something to be said that there needs to be a way for bad things to happen. But the problem is there's no reason why they're in this movie. I understand that they're babies and babies do dumb things sometimes, but at the end when it's like, Sarah, you did a good job being an aunt, it's like, no, she didn't. Not once did she do a good job.
And the main cast is still very annoying. At every opportunity, Sarah says, we aren't going to tell anybody about this. And every time you're like, please tell somebody that something happened. And anytime the twins say anything, Ducky's like, that means don't get Grandpa Three-Horn upset. Yup, yup, yup. Like, why are we talking?
Yes, so the two twins speak in baby speak. So Ducky has to interpret for them.
Oh, no.
Just start saying that in the regular,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, just
Well, and it was interesting to me that Sarah has two nieces, but we've never learned of Sarah ever having any siblings.
Yeah.
Well, I do find it interesting. It doesn't only imply that she has siblings. It implies that she has siblings that are quite a bit older than her.
How old is Grandpa Three-Horn?
And we never even get to see her siblings in this movie. This would have been the time where you'd expect, she's babysitting the niece and nephew for her siblings. You'd expect to at least get to see them in this movie then.
They do seem pretty absent, the parents of the two twins. So maybe
All of the parents seem to be absent except for Grandpa.
maybe they got eaten, and so they're still technically Sarah's nieces. The parents had passed already. Now, speaking of other things we love about this movie, I've heard people say before that they're pretty into genre mashups. We've definitely got one going here.
The Dino Ranger?
And
Yeah,
Jesus.
a little bit of Western.
The Jesus Ranger?
The problem is that Western Dinosaur has been done twice in the last 40 years, and both times it's been very bad.
What's the other dinosaur Western you're thinking of?
The Good Dinosaur?
Yes, well, I don't know what John was hoping to talk about, but we're getting into religion.
Yeah, we have to.
This movie adds so much world building to Land Before Time that we haven't seen before. First and foremost, we get the injection of supernatural powers.
Karmic retribution.
The lone dinosaur defeats a T-Rex, and out of the ground, rocks shoot up
With lightning.
and creates a massive statue of the dinosaur. What does this tell us? Well, it tells us that we were wrong to criticize in other movies rocks that looked like dinosaurs.
They are all monuments that grant power to the people of that area.
It's true. Every time Littlefoot was scared because there was a shadow of a rock that looked like a T-Rex, he should have been scared because a creature with magical powers who was a T-Rex was there.
Yeah, are you curious why that island had no herbivores on it? It's because all of the carnivores have superpowers there.
Interesting.
They get really deep into the church of dinosaurs in this movie. And it does make me look back at previous movies that we've watched with a different lens. What is something that we know to be true? Spike does not talk. Not that he cannot talk. He chooses not to. So this is a vow of silence, right?
He's a nun.
How did Spike make amends for speaking to save his sister's life in Land Before Time 4? How many dinosaurs did he have to eat to make up for that?
He had to make his own statue, which means that he had to kill something.
Now, keep in mind that in this movie, they attribute that big old statue to be as a result of the lone dinosaur. But this is all based on mythology that's been passed down. Grandpa Longneck even kind of says, that's what I heard, but people might have said it differently. He alludes to this idea that this is a legend. So people might have seen this stack of rocks and said, oh, that kind of looks like a long neck, and pieced together these stories.
Okay, yes, but the Great Valley does undergo a karmic retribution, and that does stop after the tooth is replaced.
This is true.
Yeah, and explain those teeth that are inserted into the monument, John.
You could say that that is a natural formation. Sure, weirder stuff happens every day. But I can't get over the fact that there is a supernatural occurrence that does start and stop at the destruction and repair of the monument.
You guys are leaning into the luck theme in the movie. Do you think the movie was trying to say that bad luck actually exists?
If it's not trying to, it definitely is.
I want to point out that Dino-Christ says it does.
I think Grandpa says there's no such thing as bad luck, but then helps them fix the monument, and then all the bad luck goes away. So it's disingenuous in its messaging. It's like, yeah, there's no such thing, but...
Best be safe.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as witches, but if you ever see a woman with purple eyes who wants to give you a snake, don't trust
Kill her.
Take that chocolate.
Use it.
I was talking about other things that this movie has made me realize about the ongoing messaging from these other movies. We've already acknowledged it in this episode. The constant theme in all of these movies is don't tell your parents. Lie to your loved ones. And where is that most common? Well, that is a very commonly used tool in cults when inducting people to isolate them from their loved ones and make them more susceptible to brainwashing.
It makes sense why they have a tight-knit community in the valley that they never leave.
This is like the movie The Village.
Especially considering the fact that their family tree is such a weird web. That's also very common in cults.
Oh, like Sarah's siblings got excommunicated, actually.
Yes, exactly.
And it makes sense for one dinosaur to have so many children.
Who is the leader of the cult? Is it Grandpa Threehorn or Grandpa Longneck?
In the end, even though Daddy Tops gets his...
Daddy Tops! We're using the name. How many times did you practice saying that before the podcast tonight?
Daddy Tops, Daddy Tops, Daddy Tops, Daddy Tops, Daddy Tops.
Me mama moo. Me mama moo. Grandpa Longneck ends up calling the shots in the end. So I do think that Grandpa Longneck's kind of in charge. That or Grandma Longneck is, and she's just the silence.
Passive, yeah. Did we ever see the parents of Littlefoot?
Oh, you haven't seen the first Land Before Time movie.
We're not talking about the first Land Before Time movie.
Oh, don't they die like right at the start or something?
Talk about good movies on this
Hey, Kylan, that's the 14th movie we're going to watch, and we're not spoiling.
I forgot. Anyways, I'm just going to go over some things
we're not going to spoil it if you can't figure out why they're not in the 13 movies we are watching.
I have written in my notes here that these children watched a living creature die as it plummeted down a cliff. And I was like, oh man, that's brutal. And then later, Littlefoot's like, I need to go get a tooth. I'm gonna go loot that corpse that we watched plummet down a cliff. I think that they have a lot of trauma that they need to work through.
That stuff is what set this movie apart for me, is none of the other sequels use the terms dead or death. Yeah. He straight up says, this thing looks pretty dead. As Kai mentioned, this does seem like we've edged the target demographic up to 6-year-olds in this movie.
John, how old were you when this movie came out?
9.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I want to come back to that. We'll put a pin in it. Let's talk about your thing, John.
Tim was 15.
I've never seen this movie before.
Chance was -5. And Kai was -7. You've never seen this movie, Tim?
This is my first time.
Wow, you lucky ducky.
Yeah, I avoided it a long time.
Well, I'll have you know, your name wasn't written on the inside of the VHS, so that makes sense.
Yep, I'm sure it does.
We were talking about luck. Kylan, did you say that you did some investigating to see if luck has been around as long as the dinosaurs?
So John reached out to me and he was like, hey, do you want to look into facts about the dinosaurs? And I was like, I am not particularly interested in looking into dinosaurs, but I am really interested in looking into mythology. What I found is that luck is too broad to really focus on. Every religion you can think of has some variant of luck. This is a fun fact here. Did you know luck used to be called speed? So when you say the phrase God's speed, that means God's luck. I found gods of luck. Christianity has God's speed. Voodoo has forms of luck. Every religion has luck. The only religion I was able to find that doesn't have luck is Buddhism, where they say, don't believe in luck. And then they explain spiritual luck, which is that every action you do has karmic retribution. You can give yourself good luck, or you can give yourself bad luck. So it's such a wide net that I couldn't find anything. I think luck as a word was introduced in the 1400s, but again, it was called speed before that. So it's been around forever in pretty much every religion you can think of. Because
dinosaur religion, do the people on this podcast believe that Doc is Dinosaur Jesus?
Right, is he the lone dinosaur that's in the myths or not?
I believe that he's not.
Okay.
Why?
I have to imagine he is.
Well, you introduce a long-necked dinosaur with a scar that's good with his tail, and he's been in the valley before.
And he saves the children every time they're in peril, no matter where he is.
Do you want to talk
He
about...
magically appears. They're falling off cliffs, and he's just all of a sudden there.
These kids
multiple times.
cannot be harmed. They've never been in any
because
serious danger in their entire
They fall
lives.
into the arms of Dino Jesus.
He hasn't been here ever, and they've never been in danger before.
That you could see.
Ducky gets picked up and put in a bird's nest with a pterodactyl, and she's like being attacked, and nothing happens.
The lone dinosaur was with her every step
Doc
of the way.
did not need to be there to
look
save them.
behind you and see 2 sets of footprints.
Four
That's
sets
because
of
Dino
footprints
Jesus was
because he's
very
got 4
evil.
legs.
He might have just always been out of frame. You couldn't see him.
I'm just imagining all the kids be like, let's go, guys, and then 8 meters behind them, a little bit out of frame.
In the last movie when they're riding on a log out in the ocean, he's got a log behind them.
Spike has seen him, and he's just staying quiet to not alert him.
Grandpa Longneck, who's the guardian of our protagonist, Littlefoot, he's sharing this old legend, but when we watch the old legend, we see with our eyes what the lone dinosaur looks like.
We see Littlefoot's perspective.
Right, sure. We see Littlefoot's imagining of the story, but then when we see this character Doc show up, it is exactly the same picture.
What this actually means is we're going to go all the way back to season 1 of our podcast where we talked about the Odyssey.
Actually, this is the theological belief of general revelation, in that by hearing the truth of Christ, Dino-Christ is revealed.
So, in the Odyssey, for listeners who have joined us in a more recent season, a little boy falls out of a treehouse. He's concussed, and in his dream world, he interacts with other versions of kids from the real waking world. And some of the kids that he interacts with in this dreaming world, he's never met in real life. And so we discussed, does that mean that this is not just his dreaming world? Is this everyone's shared subconscious? Is he tapping into a deeper truth that he knows things that he shouldn't? Is Littlefoot speaking to the spiritual embodiment of the lone dinosaur? Or did he just happen to imagine someone who looks exactly like a dinosaur he was going to meet 24 hours later?
You guys are all forgetting the end of this movie is that Littlefoot says that Grandpa is the lone dinosaur, right? Littlefoot is passing down the story dinosaur in a way that can be consumed by the new children. This movie is trying to teach children that you can explain the truth as whatever you want. So the truth is malleable.
As long as you kick the crap out of a T-Rex first.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the strengths of the movie. The kids are idolizing this Doc character, but really it's Grandpa who ends up saving the day. And so you can have all your celebrity idols you want, but your heroes are much closer to home than you think.
Yeah, it's just weird that Littlefoot describes him as the lone dinosaur.
He called him the gray dinosaur.
Does he call him the gray dinosaur?
He called him the gray dinosaur.
He's watched it more recently than you have.
I watched it last night.
You're gonna have to rewatch this movie, Dad, to find out the truth.
Regardless of the language he uses, he's now retelling the legend in his own way that incorporates his grandpa.
I will say this about Grandpa. He narrates this movie.
Maybe this story isn't even real. And Grandpa made it up because
being
nobody's
told.
talking about him anymore. And he wants people to be proud of him. So he made up a story where his own children thought that he was amazing. And he's telling this to all the other dinosaurs.
Littlefoot, let me tell you a story. Grandpa, none of this happened.
This is a sermon at Dinosaur
No,
Church.
this happened.
Do you guys think the movie would have been stronger if Grandpa Longneck was always the lone dinosaur? He was telling a legend about himself?
I think it would have been stronger if Doc needs help. Maybe Doc fails on his own.
In this movie, there's a moment where they're like, we gotta kick him out. He's a stranger. I think it would have been more interesting if there was a moment where it's like, well, kid, there are times when people like me aren't welcome. If he is the actual dinosaur Christ, the movie is less interesting somehow.
Yes.
They could have explored that scapegoating theme. Like, we've got to find someone to blame our problems on.
Yeah. The problem is, even though Kai isn't a believer, he never does anything wrong the entire movie. He's perfect. He's super agreeable, super friendly, even understands when people are being mean to him, and he just takes it on the chin. He defeats the evil dinosaurs. He saves the dinosaurs in need. He has no flaws whatsoever.
But he's not rejected by Dino-manity.
He is.
At first, and then they instantly forget about him and he just kind of hangs around.
He leaves.
Hard turn here. What do people think about the music? We've got 3 songs, just like in every other Land Before Time sequel.
So bad.
One
Their
of them
names-
was god-awful.
The 3 songs are called The Legend of the Lone Dinosaur, Bad Luck, and On Your Own.
Wait,
really hate those
dinosaur, his tail was fast as lightning. I'm surprised that I remembered that.
That was
That was like a god beam from the heavens.
a dino god
A
beam?
dino god beam.
From
Yeah.
the Dino God?
Yeah.
These songs are all terrible, John.
They're so bad.
Last year, we did Land Before Time 5, and I will not refer to any song from a Land Before Time movie as a banger, but those are the best that these movies have to offer. They're not good, but they're all memorable and catchy. We're back into the garbage pile with this movie.
Spike sings for the first time. He does his crooning kind of thing.
Scat.
Did you feel a different vibe from Spike this movie?
Spike was less front and center. He did eat a couple of times.
This is the only Land Before Time movie that Rob Paulsen does not voice Spike. Spike doesn't really have lines typically, but I did feel like there was a different vibe from him.
Yes,
I
he was
feel
a
like
crooner this time.
the sounds that he makes were enough to be like, oh, something's off about this guy. This is fake Spike.
Not my Spike. Hashtag not my Spike.
Talk about it one episode that Spike was like actually a video camera and it was the Truman Show.
Yes.
There you go. It's happened. Now, we've already hinted that there's some patterns in the Land Before Time movies. They sometimes repeat. tropes. Tropes being recognizable patterns in storytelling in movies. So it was actually kind of fun. I just wrote down some things that I was like, that's happened in every single Land Before Time movie. So I'm thinking maybe for our next Land Before episode, might come up with a bingo card or something.
Lie to your parents.
Yeah.
That's the free
Parents
space
is
in the
on there.
middle.
Push a rock, splash in mud.
Start with an existential narration about the origins of life. Multiple characters scream sharp tooth simultaneously.
There's got to be something about being stuck in a log.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Scarcity of resources in one way or another.
Yeah. The watering hole's gone. That happened this one again. When the bad luck starts, one of the watering holes goes bad.
Racism.
There'd have to be a few blocks up for racism. It'd be a different type.
Sarah being racist versus Grandpa being racist, and those are two different spots.
They end up in the great beyond the Great Valley.
Okay, wait. This is off topic. Was any of this movie Beyond the Great Valley?
It kind of is implied because they ran into that T-Rex. They climb over the rock edge, and so the Great Valley is just that. It's a valley, and so if they climb over that crest...
But they're
which they do
on
in
the
this
crest still.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say if they ever leave.
When we were talking, I was confused. Is the big monument outside of the Great Valley? It is very confusing. And I want to be careful not to spoil the first Land Before Time movie. But these dinosaurs are not from the Great Valley. They find...
Tim, that is a huge spoiler.
John, we all know we're never watching it, so...
Oh, we are.
I had a friend named Lane who explained the allegory of Land Before Time to me over a decade ago at this point. We weren't talking about these dumb sequels, but he was talking to me about how the Great Valley actually represents heaven, and all of these people are working their way to try and make it to a better life.
So all these sequels are sacrilege.
Yeah,
Because they're always searching to find a way to leave.
they're always trying to leave heaven.
If he was wrong, it was purgatory. Now,
Yeah, and
playing
they're
up.
gonna keep making movies in it forever.
So this is part of why I hate these movies so much. They really have nothing to do with the original Don Bluth movie. But even if you pretend like there's no allegory in the first movie, these dinosaurs are promised a better life if they can find the Great Valley. They spend their whole lives trying to get there, and then when they do, one of the oldest ones is like, yeah, there's this story that's been passed down for countless generations.
And when I was a
about
kid,
this
I
rock.
heard it.
Somebody's lying.
They had already been there before, and then they left, and they were like, it was way better there, and they came back.
Maybe it just reaffirms that it is a cult and somebody's lying.
The Great Beyond usually lacks vegetation, but it was interesting in this movie they ran into that sharp tooth in a treed area.
If you see trees, you should expect to see carnivores. Herbivores, if they are overpopulated, will eat the vegetation to extinction, and then they will all go extinct as well. Herbivores will eat the plants, and then carnivores will eat the herbivores.
Thus
So they're
completing the great cycle of life.
So the fact that the Great Valley keeps on going into ruin, the fact that the Great Valley keeps on going into ruin actually does make sense when you realize that every new Land Before Time movie has some new eggs or babies, and there are no carnivores inside of it. So the question is, why are there so many carnivores? The question is, why are there so many carnivores outside the Great Valley if there's no vegetation? What are they eating?
Eggs.
Tim
When I
and
wake up in the morning, eggs.
Tim and Chance, if you have any last references you want to just toss in because I have something to say.
About the Lion King?
All right, Kylan, you're touching on something.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase.
You're touching on something that I was thinking about. Herbivores in the Great Valley are all concerned about carnivores coming in. But the carnivores need to eat.
Yeah.
So really, maybe the Great Valley isn't for the herbivores. it's great because the carnivores can find some food there. Maybe even the Great Valley was great because it was undisturbed for the plants. But then the herbivores came in. Like maybe there's a plant lone ranger out there trying to protect the plant from the herbivores.
Well, it makes sense now that the valley's falling into
Dinosaurs keep getting
ruin.
trapped in trees.
They're getting trapped in logs because the logs are...
The log dinosaur.
And back to a couple more tropes. The child characters lecture the adult characters who come to learn that the children were right in the end. Characters move out of the way a split second before a sharp tooth would bite down on them.
What do you think about animation mistakes or characters being the wrong color for a scene?
Yeah, I actually looked into that a little bit more because we've also criticized Land Before Time for these. We know exactly what thing on the screen is going to be interacted with because it's colored.
Yeah.
So you make backgrounds a different way than you make animated cells.
Those
That's
were
right.
paintings back in the day. This is actually the last Land Before Time movie that uses traditional animation style.
So we're not going to have that issue anymore.
Number 7 is the first time when things were digitally painted.
Spike is eating every plant in sight.
Woo.
And a sharp tooth is revealed by walking into frame seconds after the protagonist leaves the frame.
Yeah.
So next time we can be looking out for that
Do
stuff.
we each want to make a bingo board next
I
year?
think so.
Next year.
Oh, Land Before Time bingo? That's brilliant. That's
well,
right.
when we played Fast and the Furious 35, that sucked. But when we each had a goal, that was better.
That's true. Yeah.
So it will
It'll
make
be
the
a
show more
distraction.
enjoyable.
Speaking of making the show more enjoyable, sometimes there's a deep connection in these movies. Like maybe there's some spirituality in Land Before Time, or maybe there's something that ties it to our podcast. In this case, praise Beethoven, there is
Beethoven.
a scene in Beethoven's Third where this movie is playing in the background.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Well, no wonder the lone dinosaur has so much power. It's because he was so close to Beethoven for even a few moments.
Wow. Anyone want to watch Beethoven the Third?
You want to watch it now
That's
because
on my
it has
bingo card.
being in Beethoven the Third? I think that only works for this one, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so I don't know how closely you were listening to Dinah and Dana, the twins, but one of them might have sounded a little bit more rambunctious than the other. Almost like they'd say something like, "Eat my shorts."
One of them is Bart Simpson, the other one is Lisa.
Yes, it's actually Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson.
What?
who did
What? What?
one of the-
Stop! I'm
I knew
leaving.
that's where he was going to. I'm surprised you didn't realize.
Yeah.
What?
That's clearly where he was steering the conversation.
And I just guessed that?
Yeah, because that's Bart's catchphrase.
Yeah, it's "Eat my
Okay,
shorts."
that makes sense. I must have just subconsciously...
That was the weirdest reaction.
Okay, no, I was just so confused because I don't
You
watch
forgot how you
Simpsons.
thought it was Bart and Lisa?
I didn't realize that you subconsciously gave the catchphrase to
Oh.
me. That's what it was. I just thought that I
Not
randomly
subconsciously, very
assumed.
consciously.
Whatever, shut your face.
I did want to watch this on VHS since Tim got us a VCR, but I was having troubles running the VCR, so I had to pop in my DVD version of it.
Oh my goodness.
I've only bought the Land Before DVDs. I didn't watch them on DVD before, so it was actually neat to go into the special features. There was a Jurassic Park Institute that you could go to their website, and they had some content there. I did try going to the website, but the domain name is now up for grabs. I guess they closed the website. But they did give you some cool crafts you could do. So you could take some chicken bones and Play-Doh and create your own dinosaur skeleton. They did have a couple of DVD games, which were really popular when DVDs came out. And so I got to help Littlefoot and his friends cross the chasm by matching them with each of their parents so they'd have the courage to cross. I also helped rebuild Saurus Rock. And then there was, this was my favorite part. They had a section where you could go into the bios of each of the characters. So it would say Spike is a Stegosaurus. And so I actually got full confirmation on what official dinosaur each of the characters were. But it had all of the dinosaurs. And at the bottom, you could click on the last bio, which was producer Charles Grosvenor.
What kind of dinosaur is he?
It was so weird because he had his own picture just like all the other dinosaurs with a dinosaur background.
And it wasn't the director or anything, it was the producer?
It was a producer. And he had his arms crossed real serious for the photo. But I thought that was funny. I don't know what kid is wanting to read that bio.
I think he was hoping that his own kids would. Like, hey kids, look at this new DVD I brought home.
He's grandpa trying to make himself look like a dinosaur to tell his children about. It all comes full circle.
So this movie was released in 1998, which is the same year as Small Soldiers, which we watched, and Quest for Camelot, which we also previously covered. It's also the same year that A Bug's Life came out, Prince of Egypt, Mulan.
John, if you're just naming better movies that came out that year, we're going to be here a long time.
I think
No, I was
you
just
would list every movie
mentioning
that came
the
out.
other animated hits of that year that didn't happen to be as successful to get a sixth movie. That's all the things that I've got, Tim.
Okay. Assuming that we come back to these movies again in the future, I think this is a good opportunity to create a new segment.
Whoa.
I'm thinking that I would insert a sting or a fun little like melody here that gives like a bump ba bump 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 bump. And the segment would be called something like, was John the right age for this?
Land Before Time, the answer is always yes.
Yep.
So, as John has repeatedly said, this landed in December of 1998, which means that John would be 9 years old. Do we think that a 9-year-old was the target demographic for this movie?
Absolutely not.
No, yeah.
Hold on.
I'm gonna say
9 is
no.
grade 3, maybe grade 4.
It's grade 4.
I'm curious. How old was John when the first Land Before Time movie came out?
He wasn't even born yet.
Then no. Then absolutely not.
The first one came out in 1988, was it?
I believe so.
Maybe
I
if
was
you're
in utero.
I was gonna say maybe if you were growing up with the Land Before Time movies.
Well, no, I think that is what happened with the sequel movies.
Yes, but he started with 2.
And when did we say number 2 came out? 1995, John?
Did you watch the second movie first?
Oh, you're saying did he see the very first movie first?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
we watched
okay.
the first Land Before Time movie endlessly before the second one even came out. So when the second one came out, it was a really big deal. But I like to think the Harry Potter books, you read the first one, you grew up with them until you've read the last one. Same with Land Before Time.
These characters have grown not at all, John.
Yeah.
No, but even this time, they talked about things like death. I
It
see the
took
parallels.
6 movies to get there.
Yeah, and the first movie started with death, and we went backwards.
So you think you were too old at 15, Tim?
Thankfully, we never had to
I
find
don't
out.
know.
I've never seen this movie before.
Are you saying that you haven't seen a sequel past number 5?
That's correct. When I worked at Rogers Video, we would have demo tapes playing in the store. So every month we would get a new VHS tape that would have an hour or 2 of trailers of movies that were coming out on DVD soon.
And you saw Land Before Time every time. and you
There
were like,
was a
"Man."
trailer for A Great Day for Flyers.
That's a good one.
So I've seen 2.5 minutes of A Great Day for Flyers probably 500 times. But apart from that, no, I have not seen any of them past big water.
Tim, that's got to be
deep
agonizing to have
Is
waited
it
all
big?
this time to get the payoff of the Great Day for Flyers sequel.
No. All I know is that one of them coming up is about 3-inch tall miniature versions of the dinosaurs.
Okay, so
And-
don't give away all of the plot.
What?
When we get to size manipulation and the tiny sauruses or whatever the heck they're called,
Like they're
this
duplicates? They're clones?
show is not redeemable.
So many
John.
questions, right? You don't get to know just yet.
It's gonna be like, oh, they're introducing a Compsognathus or
Yeah,
Compies. Nope.
Nope.
You're
Just
making small
very
clones.
tiny long necks.
Genre mashups, am I right?
Ant-Man.
This is pre-Ant-Man.
Marvel wishes.
Yes.
Marvel wishes Ant-Man could be in this 14th movie.
All right, before we go to closing, any other comments?
Take us to close, John.
Chance, give us a number, baby.
This one's bad, you guys.
Remember, you're our chummy sore.
Did you say that so that you couldn't be mean? Was that your plan? You were setting a trap?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if there are better examples of zeros. This movie is nothing.
Have
It's
any
terrible.
Land Before Time
Actually,
movies?
I will agree with Chance on that for an interesting reason. There are worse Land Before Time movies, for sure. But
None
this
of
is
them are
also
ones.
a nothing movie. So, arguably, this is closer to zero because it doesn't do anything better or worse than any other movie.
It's so ridiculously mundane. There are no parts that are good, but there's nothing so terrible it's funny. I still think about Big Big Water. Is that song trash? Yes.
You
but
think
do
about
I think
it?
about it?
He's like trying to fall asleep. But what if the water's big?
What about an
Yeah,
undertow?
Chance, did you watch this movie alone?
Yes. I said to my wife, I've got to watch a movie for a podcast. And she went, oh, can I watch it with you? I'm like, yeah, it's Land Before Time 6. But she said, actually, I'm not going to watch that with you.
I think that's a pretty good indication.
Well, Emily asked me the same question. She's like, oh, that's the only thing I'd want to watch with you. I have nostalgia for that. So she comes to watch it and falls asleep in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I laughed a fair bit talking about Dino-Christ, but that's because I think I'm funny, not because I think this movie is really good.
All right.
So bad. Just to put in perspective, John giving me that exercise of imagining what this movie would be made this movie even more terrible in my eyes.
I
'Cause
was
thought of
thinking that
everything
same
it could
thing.
be, and then it opens with long ago there was a man known as the Lone Dinosaur. I'm like, I hate this movie. I'm done.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Chance. Well, this movie's not good.
Giving yourself expectations.
Yeah, that was moving the needle in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
for
I think
sure.
bingo is the opposite in the best ways, in that you are prepared for it to suck.
Sorry, this is an aside. Did we ever find out what the secret of Saurus Rock was?
The karmic representation of Dino-Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the secret is that we're always going to keep talking about what was the secret.
Well, no, the secret was it real?
And it is. It is real, and it does control the karmic
What
reality.
is the
Okay. Kylan, give us your cookie.
So it's a pile of rocks in the shape of a cookie.
Ooh,
It controls the luck of
lucky.
your tummy, your tum-tum.
The luck of your tummy?
Yeah. Seriously, this movie is god-awful. It's still a movie for toddlers. It just has slightly better content than the other Land Before Time movies that we've seen. Still not great. I don't know what I would change. We're 6 movies deep, and it's still bad.
Tim,
Yes.
how soon can future Tim expect to be watching this?
Make sure to sound even sadder than you already do.
I'm really hung up on your question about the secret of Saurus Rock.
Okay.
We watched Secret of the Ooze, and we found out that name was picked before rewrites, and the secret of the ooze was never revealed in the movie. If we could apply that logic to this movie, the secret of Saurus Rock is that it was a spaceship that Doc used to come to the Great Valley, and he was trying to leave with it when meddling kids got in his way. This movie sucks. I'm never watching it again. Jonathan,
Yeah.
Having the mirror held up to you during this podcast and seeing that this movie is all about a dinosaur religion, will that change the way that you remember this movie or think about it?
When you guys started talking about the start of this podcast, I was like, what are they talking about? So that never crossed my mind.
Are your
But it
eyes
is-
now open, though?
Yeah, are you free from the cult that you've been
Am I
trapped in
a
all this
believer?
time?
Yeah.
It is some fascinating parallels, but I don't think that was the intention of the writers. I think that's all coincidence.
No.
I think that, if anything, that metaphor will help me remember this movie better. Because even trying to remember this movie before I watched it, I was like, oh, I know that it's a super cool long neck that comes into town and can do cool stuff. But I didn't remember much other than that. But what I will say is that I've got Land Before Time fever. I'm contemplating right now, do I just go ahead and keep watching the sequels and make all my notes and like pre-prepare those episodes for future seasons?
John,
Just because
that
I
sounds
can't
really bad.
wait.
I think we need to quarantine you.
You did say it was a fever.
Why? You scared you're going to catch it, Kai?
No, I want to be as far away from you as possible.
I think you're feeling a little bit of a Land Before Time cough.
Just sounds like the worst sickness a man can have.
Would that be Hyman and Human the human?
All right, Tim, what are we watching next and where can we find it?
Right. Our next episode is from Chance and Kai's nostalgia. We're kicking it forward a decade, and we're watching episodes from Kirby right back at ya.
Kirby. He's the star of the show. Dang.
Dang, you only have one
It's a name you should
chance.
know. He's maximum pink. He's more than you think. Kirby's the one.
That's right, Maximum Pink.
And he's more than you think.
So we're going to be watching a couple episodes from that TV show about the Nintendo character that sucks things up and sometimes gets their powers.
Always gets their powers. It's just sometimes they don't have any powers to take.
Wow, Kirby nerd over here.
Yeah.
So I think Kai was starting to lose hope in this podcast.
And I'm back.
So we've switched over to some of his nostalgia so that we can get everybody back in.
I have a lot to talk about with Kirby lore.
Okay, well, start taking notes, I guess.
Once you find out what episodes we're watching, I don't know if there's a place where you can put that where people can see in advance.
I'll try and put it in the comments. So.
Yeah, it'll be in the description.
Yeah,
so.
and good places to watch Kirby. There isn't really any normal streaming services that carry the show. A number of the episodes are on YouTube, but more than that, we've been finding that the Internet Archive is a great place to find episodes that are high quality for shows like this and Bucky O'Hare. The episode after Kirby is going to be the one that you are all voting for. So make sure you hit up our polls to decide between Lego Clutch Powers, Mom and Dad Save the World, and Speed Racer.
Thank goodness John didn't get to add his again to the list.
How do you know one of these movies isn't a sleeper agent?
We're watching Clutch Powers and my face lights up. And then halfway through that opening scene where they're playing We Built This City and Clutch Powers is driving to the rocket launching. Because we've all seen this movie and we like this movie. Halfway through it just instantly hard cuts to Spy Hard.
I think it was Grindhouse. One of Quentin Tarantino's movies, the theatrical cut was really funny. He intentionally made it seem like it was an old garbage movie. There was a zombie apocalypse. They fight off all the zombies. They're all safely barricaded in this building. And then the film decays. Nothing can stop us now. And then it's like... and then everyone's dying. It was meant to be like, oh, we lost the rest of the footage of the movie. But you've talked about some YouTubers that you watch who prank people by inserting movies within movies.
Yes,
Just to
yes.
see what people's reactions would be.
I think it was the Gaslight edit.
People will take movies, John, and they'll edit them to have really goofy or dumb things into it.
But nobody will notice them.
Yeah, our brains are just programmed to to accept certain things, you think that you're watching the actual cut of a movie. People will edit these movies slightly just to see if people notice that something's wrong.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, it's Noodle. That's his name on YouTube.
John, is there anything you wanted to say before we wrap?
Callbacks, baby. Let's do it.
Look out for weirdos.
Don't forget to breathe in and out. 2 tickets to Elmo, please.
Grandma. Grandma.
John, you are so cool. What I love about that callback is it's not a quote from a movie. It's
a quote from John. That's something that he actually said in real life.
No, that's something you made fun of me for thinking that.
And you actually said that. You want to tell me that you didn't go and get tickets for Elmo? Are you trying to tell me that didn't happen?
Reality is reality.
Yeah, reality is reality.
Yeah.
You bought 2 tickets for Elmo, please.
John was too cool to use the word please. That's what he's actually saying. He's not saying why that statement isn't true. Yo, we're 2 cool kids. 2 tickets to Elmo, loser.
2 tickets to Elmo, loser.